Hello, my name is Hunter. I have been speaking out about a white supremacist cult that has been targeting my life for years. These people follow me job to job, pretty much gaslighting me, gang stalking me, mentally abusing me, and pretty much just torturing me. And so I found out about this whenever I had a friend in law enforcement. That I had been friends with since middle school for years. And I found out he was a part of this cult. And I already knew that he was abusive toward women and people of color. And he found out that I didn't really like that. And I mean, why would anybody like that? So I didn't react the way that he wanted me to when he got somebody else to kind of privately investigate me over it. And I pretty much called him out for it. And so for years, I had I pretty much noticed strange things going on at my workplaces and everything. But after he showed me he was in this cult, the workplaces I was at, they all showed me that they were a part of this cult and told me who they were and everything just kind of clicked. And I didn't react the way that they wanted me to. I pretty much stayed silent, and because I stayed silent on everything, they took that as a threat, and they started pretty much mentally abusing me, like, right in front of my face, and pretty much telling me that, like, if I try to speak out, nobody's gonna believe me. And just getting people that, I communicate with at work, I'm very team oriented, and they would pretty much get everybody to turn against me and to start pretty much attacking me at work. And then they'd work me all these, and I've always wondered why I worked more hours than the average employee. And it was so that they would exhaust me physically, emotionally, to frustrate me. And pretty much, if I got any kind of frustrated, they would use that against me. And then I started taking a step back at work. I started taking more breaks and everything, and to keep myself calmer. And I'm a pretty calm person, and they tried to make me feel guilty for doing that. So they make me feel guilty for every little thing that I do. They turn everybody against me for absolutely no reason. And if I try to speak out about it, if I try to say anything about it, if I try to confront it, they try to make me feel like it's all in my head. It's mental abuse, and they're doing it to a lot of people right now. Um, I've noticed the huge fluctuations of the younger generation starting to struggle and not afford homes and pretty much become homeless. And it's done on purpose. It's to punish people for quiet quitting and to punish people for being good people and knowing the difference between right and wrong. Because what I've noticed is good, hardworking people, they don't get paid more. They don't get raises. They pretty much, in order to pretty much counter paying hard, loyal workers more, they go in and they try to make them feel worthless. They try to make them feel like nothing. They go in, they bully and abuse, and pretty much, if you try to bring anything up about it, they're, right there kind of shutting you down. Because they don't care how hard you work, they don't care how many hours you work. They have a certain amount that they want to pay you every year. Like, everybody literally has a price tag on them. And right now, that price tag, it's not sustainable for people to live on. And a lot of people are getting frustrated about this. And these companies, they know what's going on, but they have no intentions on communicating with the younger generation. They're just punishing people. They don't care about, they don't have any empathy. They just don't care. As long as they fill their pockets, they're going to do whatever they want. And the biggest thing that they're doing is gaslighting us. And the only reason why, from what I noticed, why people get close to you at work is to find out your vulnerabilities and use it against you. Because they don't care. They don't care about what you have going on. They don't care if you're struggling. It's like they're out of touch with reality. And then when they know they've wronged you, instead of feeling guilty about it, they try to change how your character looks to others, try to manipulate your emotions, destroying your image, and just straight up trying to get people to snap. And right now, a lot of companies, they don't want to pay retirement. So they don't care if they keep somebody around for 2 or 5 years. They'd rather hire a fresh new face to start over the gaslighting, to start over the manipulation, to start over their tactics, control tactics, than to appreciate somebody that has put blood, sweat, and tears into their companies. They don't care. I watched my dad, before he passed away, work at a company for 15 years. And even though he got like dollar raises here and there, he still somehow made the same amount of money every year. Because that's what these companies do. They'll give you a dollar raise every once in a while, give you a little bit of feel good, then they'll just cut your hours. And it's usually when people start to slow down. After they burnt them out. They don't respect us. These companies don't respect us. And right now, you got a lot of these companies that are conspiring with each other, which is highly illegal. Because they have us all in the system. They have us all on the computers. Call it crazy. But if you really think about it, most jobs ask if they can get in contact with your previous employer. And they do. And instead of saying what a good person you are and how hard you worked, they're mad because you didn't stick around. You didn't stick around when they were abusing you. So, when they call the previous employers, those employers are already upset because they didn't want you to leave, especially if you're a hard worker. Especially if you're a hard worker. and you bring in business to the company. This is what happened to me. The companies I worked for did not want me to leave. But they also didn't want me to feel like I was worth anything. And then when I left, they got pissed off. And they went behind my back and slandered my name. They're all a part of a cult. Call it crazy. But a lot of the companies that work around each other, they all know each other. They probably have great big parties with each other. And when they have hard workers leave, because I hear a lot about companies not being able to find good hard workers anymore. And when one leaves, it's almost like, if I can't have you, nobody can. Because all of a sudden they're making you feel worthless. All of a sudden they're gang stalking you and gaslighting you. Telling you their secrets. Trying to get you to kind of bully you into staying. Making it hard for you to leave. They start trying to set you up. Trying to find blackmail on you. That's what they did to me. Except they couldn't find anything on me. And then they try to make me feel bad. Oh, you just think you're so perfect, don't you? That's what these companies are doing. And you wonder why you got the younger generation sleeping in their cars, sleeping on the streets. Not working as hard. That's why you walk into a gas station and the employees aren't striving. It's because the way of how companies are treating employees. Like we're cattle. And they know that people see the injustice that they're doing. But they have more money and influence. They have blackmail on people. So they have the power to turn people against you. Even if you're a straight up innocent person. Even if you've done nothing wrong. They're going to try to make you feel like you've done something wrong. And that's what they're doing to people. It's what they've done to me. These people financially broke me and tried to make me feel like it was my fault. Yet I go around and a lot of people my age are all of a sudden broke. Not being able to survive on their own. A lot of my friends can't afford to buy a house or even pay for rent. They have to move back in with their parents. But then you got the older generation said, oh, you just need to work harder. You just need to work harder. Well, I can tell you this, if you saw how hard I worked, you would straight up be like, how can you work any harder? And then when I try to take a step back, after being scapegoated out for years, these companies try to make me feel bad for it. These companies try to make me feel bad for going to the bathroom. And if I don't talk, and I stick to myself quite a bit now, because I've been forced to. And I have very high energy. And these people don't want people to see the high energy that I have. They don't want people to see the kindness I have. So they exclude me. They ignore me. They make me feel like something's wrong with me. And then when I talk, they try to make me feel like I've said something wrong. But these people can go around and say anything they want, get away with anything they want, yell at people, snap at people. But if I try to communicate with people, if I try to be a good team member, they just push me away. And then they tell people that I'm the one pushing people away. They build me up, get close to me, and backstab me and betray me. Making it hard for me to talk to others. And then they go around passing rumors behind my back, making it even harder for me to talk to others. Painting me in an image that is how the people attacking me are. They're making people look at me the way they should be looking at the people that are attacking me. Because that's what cult members do. That's what these companies are doing. They don't want people to see my worth. They don't want people to offer me a job. They don't want me to amount to anything greater than what they want from me. They've literally kept me stagnant in my life. They've stopped my forward movement. And I have to come into work and walk on eggshells. And a lot of people are going through this right now. And the thing about it is nobody's listening. Nobody's listening to people that are going through this stuff. And if they do, they don't believe it. Because it's not happening to them the same way. Or they're forced to turn a blind eye. Because they're afraid of being excluded and left out. It's wrong. What happened to listening to people? Because we all see how things are turning upside down in our country right now. Yet, everybody has said what's going on. But nobody's listening. Everybody's so distracted. And if you're going through this, I love you. Because I know how lonely it can be. To be shunned. To be cast out. For absolutely no reason. And it's usually people that want to make a positive impact on the world. Usually the people that love people and want equality that are going through this. And then you hear people ask, where are all the good leaders at? Where are all the good leaders? They're literally being tortured and pushed away so that nobody will listen to them. So, it's time for us to speak out. There's not a better time to speak out right now. There's too much going on in the world right now for us all just to be stagnant and silent. Thank you.